What's up, guys? How's it going? It's been a little while since I posted a new video, but I got that cold that was going around and pulled some muscles in my body from coughing so much. It was fun stuff. So I'm a little bit better now. Back on the road. Today's date is, it's actually Martin Luther King Day today. So happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So that's good. I guess this is kind of maybe a new series. I'm going to try this out, see how it goes. Ask a Trucker series, maybe. Number one, I guess. You guys have posted a few questions. There's about 20-30 of you that are pretty regular watching my videos, and I thank you. And then there's a couple stragglers here and there, and some other people that have posted some actually really good questions over the past couple months, actually. So I figured I'd take this time and answer those questions. So let's see how this goes. Hopefully it's successful, and if there's any questions you guys have, I'll keep trying to answer them. I'm no pro, I'm no expert, but I've been in it for 2 years, so there's some simple questions that I do know that I can answer and maybe help find out. Here we go. I don't know exactly who these questions came from. I could find out, but I'm too lazy. So anyways, probably the first and biggest question is, how do I get into trucking? How do you get into trucking? Well, first thing you got to do is realize what the industry is. You've got to really decide this is something you're going to have to spend a few $1,000s getting into at least. And it's not just like jumping in a truck and going. You've got to put forth money, time, effort, a lot of sweat, tears, and blood kind of thing to get into it. So you got to first decide, is this really what you want to do? It's not all driving down pretty roads, all day long for 5-6 hours a day and getting paid $3,000 a week. There's a lot of long days. You'll drive 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Then you'll drive from the next morning, the next day or something. You'll start out at 11 p.m. and drive all through the night. And your schedule's always changing, and you're trying to find sleep a lot of the times whenever you can. It's a lot of, depending on where you're going to be driving. If you're in the Northeast, that's a lot tougher than it is out west. You just got to kind of decide, is this something you really want to get into? And if you do, like I did, your first step is to get some training. Training is going to cost you anywhere from about, I'd say, $2,500 all the way up to probably $6,000. I myself paid, I think it was $4,500 worth every single penny, because I used that training today. I was trained at Watkins Shepherd. They had a 30-day program there, and I actually learned on the trucks I was going to be driving, which was a big help. Did a trip down to LA from Missoula. So I actually got some real-world experience. And that brings up another point. Now, when you figure out the training you want to get, that's where you got to start asking questions, because it's going to do you no good for you to get into a training program that has a 20-foot trailer, 23, 24-foot trailer, and a day cab with a single axle. That's not going to help you in the real world, okay? You want to find out, does this training program have a full condo, sleeper, tractor, dual axle, and a 53-foot trailer that you're going to be learning on? Because a lot of guys that I've seen, a lot of guys that I saw rather, that were coming into it, said, I learned on a single axle with a 35-foot. I don't know what I'm doing with this 53. It's too big. And I saw a few guys during my 30 days leave because they just thought it was too much. So that would be my biggest piece of advice. Find a training company that has the right equipment that you're going to be using every day, because it's not going to do you any good. So there's number one. And number two, how long is the program? How extensive is it? Do they teach you everything you're going to need to know, from your logbooks to safety, the CSA, how to back, how to shift properly? All those things you're going to ask this company. Again, it's going to do you no good, if you're in a weak class, because once you get out here, it's a whole different ball game. That's why I say get good training, because you'll use that training. Even to this day, I still use my training every day, and I'm so thankful for the training I got. I'm sure there's a lot of good companies, training companies out there. I know Sage is a pretty good one, so but they're a little expensive. That's what I mean. They're expensive to get into, but You know, if there's something you really want to do, it's worth the money. So that's my first piece of advice. Second is, who are you going to go with? Now, a lot of these companies, I believe Schneider, maybe a couple other companies, I'm not sure, they do training for you, but I think some of them have stopped. I don't know, but that's a question you need to ask. Does the company train you, and how do they train you? Now, the second is what company to go for. It's such a loaded question. There's so many variables. Honestly, for the first year, you guys are going to be basically taking all the shitloads, I guess, and, you know, taking all the shit because you're rookies and you're just trying to get a foot into the industry. It's not always going to happen, okay, but you're going to expect to be out for no less than 4 to 6 weeks, all right? You got to take your licks and get out there and get a year's experience before you kind of have more options. Most of the time, most local companies, you know, or regional companies want at least a year experience. A lot of them want 2. So you've got to take that year over-the-road experience where you're going 4 to 6 weeks at a time. It's just how it works. Unless you're lucky and you find somebody that'll take you right out of training, put you in a truck to do local or regional, that's great. You know, if you can find that, great. But for the most part, it's over the road. So find a company that kind of, it's hard to say, it really is. You know, the big companies I don't know much about. You know, you hear a lot of guys laughing and making fun of guys that drive for Swift, but to be honest, I've heard a lot of good things about Swift. Yeah, they're not perfect. They're a pretty decent company. CR England, they kind of persuade you to lease a truck, which I wouldn't recommend on your first year. Before year 5, I wouldn't recommend getting your own truck, getting a company truck. All the other big companies, I'm not sure, you know. Same thing with Prime. Prime, you can be a company driver. They're a decent company, I guess. Like I said, guys, I don't know. That's where you got to talk to the recruiter, talk to other drivers. You know, there's the Truckers Report forum you can get on there. I'll put the link in the description below. Just ask drivers, ask around, talk to recruiters 2 or 3 times before you make a decision. Find out if that's the company for you. But like I said, you're going to have to take your licks for at least the first year. Just how it kind of works out here. And then from there, once you get that first year under your belt, you got more options coming to you. Number 1, get really good training. Number 2, ask a company, talk to companies, call every kind of company you know that requires no experience, and get with the best one that you feel is going to be good, and be prepared to take your licks. Number 3, be safe. Just do your best, be safe, take your time. Don't be intimidated by anybody out there. I was new. All these drivers out here started somewhere. If it takes you 10 minutes to back up, it takes you 10 minutes to back up, all right? Don't skimp on the training, all right? It's my biggest rule. Don't skimp on the training, and then just call around. But your options are limited as a new driver. So, all right, question number 2, where to eat? What's there to eat? I have a good friend of mine, Jazzy J. He's asked me to post some videos about restaurants and things like that. To be honest, those are hard to find. There's one great one, Johnson's Corner. That's up in Johnstown, Colorado, kind of near home. It's a great restaurant, down home cooking kind of thing, and real hearty portions, and the food's really good there. That's a great restaurant I know of. But as far as eating on the road, it's tough, man. You've got Denny's at Flying J's, you've got Iron Skillets at Petros, and it's all the same type of food. It's not great, but it's better than fast food. You've got every kind of fast food option available, which isn't good. You know, it's good for on the run when you're hustling. So what I do is I just get, I get meats, cold cuts in, bread, soups, hot stuff like that. I got a microwave in here. So the best bet is just to buy almost like camping food, but stuff you can throw in the microwave, but there's not much of it because my fridge is small. It's tough to eat out here. It is. It's tough to eat healthy. If ever I'm in McDonald's and I'm on the road, I'll get a salad or something, or I'm at Wendy's, I'll get a salad. Try and eat healthy whenever you can. There's not a whole lot of really great restaurants where trucks can go into. You might be able to pull into a truck stop and across the street's an Applebee's, or a Chili's or something that you can walk across. There's that, but as far as, your options are kind of limited with that. That's why it's best to bring your own food. Question number 3, laundry. How do I do laundry? Basically at truck stops. I stay out here 3 to 4 weeks, most likely 4 weeks. So I bring about 2 weeks worth of clothes with me. So I'm doing laundry about, once every time I'm out here, every 2 weeks or so. Most big truck stops, most pilots, most TAs, and a lot of Flying J's have laundry facilities. It's $2 a load and then $4 for drying. I don't think any loves have any laundry. Do laundry basically out on the road. Just use the public facilities there. Question number 4. Do I have to do over the road or local? This kind of goes back to question number 1. How to get into the industry. 9 times out of 10, if you're starting, you're starting out, you're going to have to start out as over the road. There's not a lot of places that are looking for local drivers that have no experience. You can kind of understand why, but at the same time, maybe not. Local driving is a lot more stressful. You got to have your wits about you. Get a good feel of where the trailer's going to be. You're making a right-hand turn. You kind of want to know in the back of your head where that trailer's going to swing. And if you're new, you're not really going to know that. I guess that's why they do it. Most companies need at least 1 to 2 years experience. Some need 5 before you do regional or local. So for the first little while, you're going to have to take your licks, like I said, and do over the road. The second biggest question I get asked, which rightfully so, is how much money do you make, or do I make, as a truck driver? You see a lot of advertisements, make $40,000, $50,000 in your first year. No, that's not going to happen. It's possible you can, but that would be if you never really stop. You stop for 34, maybe once a week, once every week and a half, and then you just go, you can make it. But for the first year, I made 33. I cleared 33. I don't have any dependents, so I took out a lot of taxes, or the government did. I love Uncle Sam. So I made 33 my first year. Now that I'm with Decker, things are great. I'm making quite a lot of money, so hopefully this is going to be a good year. Most drivers start out at anywhere from, on the low end, which is rare, 28 cents to 34 cents a mile. I started out at 31 cents a mile, and I was doing, roughly 2,500 miles a week, give or take. Some weeks are bad, you have a breakdown or a flat tire, or loads just don't fit to your schedule. It happens. And other weeks you run 3,200 miles, you run your ass off, which are great. So it varies. But realistically, you're looking at anywhere from 30 to 35,000 probably for your first year. So that's that. So that's about how much you make. Like I said, it varies. But like once you get in your year, once you take your licks and you get that year, things open up to you. You get a raise, you get more cents a mile, and you can kind of look around and find different companies that probably pay a little better. And maybe in your second year you can make that 40 grand. It's possible. Just the more experience you get, obviously the more you get. But that's what I made. I'm not saying that's what you're gonna make, but it's kind of where it's at. All right, guys, so that's it. Part 1. Of course, if you have any other questions, leave them down below on this one, and I'll make a second video of Ask a Trucker, I guess. Maybe we'll see how this goes. Maybe you guys will like it, maybe not. We'll see how it goes. But like I said, to those of you that are pretty loyal to me, I know I've kind of been reading your names as you've been commenting, and I really appreciate that. I'm getting up there in views, which is really cool. My first video has almost 100,000 views, which is unreal. But it's weird because my other videos from then only have up to 2,000 views. So I don't know, maybe I did something right on that first video. But there's about 20-30 of you guys that watch my videos every time. I really appreciate your support. You guys have said a lot of nice things to me, great work, all that means a lot to me, so thank you. And to those of you that kind of scraggle around and just watch videos here and there of me, thank you also. Put the word out there, subscribe, get your issue. So, alright guys, wish you all the best. I hope that helped. And again, leave the comments below or questions below, and I'll get to a second video like this. Have a good one.